Good evening, everyone. From Nashville, I'm Charles Brown, Portfolio Manager with CB3 Financial. We are glad you're with us on this Monday, February 1st, also known as Groundhog's Day Eve, for those of you that are Bill Murray fans. And there was a lot happening in the markets on the upside, and we're happy to tell you about that. The Monday Market Mashup, this is, for those of you that are new, be sure to like us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, wherever you want to do that. We ask that you subscribe to us and click the little bell so that you get updates as well. You can also see my tweets every day. You can follow me there and Facebook and LinkedIn. And tell your friends and family. We'd really appreciate it. We're trying to grow our audience, and we would appreciate any mentions if you're enjoying what you see. So the big news here since I last saw you Thursday night, Novavax, NVAX is the ticker symbol, stuns the market, and CG, our CG program, wins. And the shorts keep squeezing. Those are tonight's two topics as we prepare for Thursday night's show. Corona America, what's the big news? Novavax, NVAX, the ticker symbol, up 21.5% today after being up 75% last week, almost a double on the stock because, surprising the market, again, their COVID-19 vaccine is about 90% effective protecting people from the disease in an interim analysis. So this isn't a final document, but still it's a late stage study in the UK. And as you know, the UK is in massive lockdown from this pandemic. And there's actually an additional strain. We talked about this in last Thursday night's program. When variants come out, which are basically variations of the pandemic, if this Novavax is impressive enough, it will be able to ward off some of those different strains from the original COVID-19 virus. And that's what has the market so excited and has us excited as investors because basically, this means we have 3 bona fide vaccines now combating COVID-19. And as I said on the previous slide, almost doubled in CG's portfolio. So I had some people really watch their portfolios here. And a guy said, so we're up 0.75% today and the market's down 1.5%. I said, well, when you have one stock in the portfolio that's up 75%, it'll do that. So happy about that. We'll be telling you a little bit more on Thursday night. Be sure to tune in for that. So the U.S. economy year to date, the Russell maintains its lead at 7.7%, the NASDAQ at 4%, S&P way behind at 0.5%, and the Dow's actually negative. Now, if you remember last year, pretty much from March on, it was NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, and Russell until the end of the year when the Russell overtook the S&P and the NASDAQ. So basically, you have the two leading aggressive asset classes, the small caps, which is the Russell 2000, and the NASDAQ leading the market this year. What does that mean? To me, that means risk on. What does risk on mean? It means people are willing to take risks in stocks. So they're not going for the stalwarts, the steadies. And that's what you're seeing with the Dow. I mean, there's some good stocks in there, obviously, but the people that are investing are opting for more riskier assets. And that, of course, plays in our decision. So one of the big hedge funds in New York had a 53% loss in January. I covered this whole GameStop short covering, short selling, basically short runs, short squeezes, all these different variations of selling short. And go watch last Thursday's night if you want to get an overview on that and the snow illustration. I got some real good feedback that helped, people to understand. But basically, this is retail investors coming into the market and asserting themselves. And it has been a long time since this has been the case. The real driving force behind this GameStop revolution, and it's more than GameStop. Obviously, it's AMC, it's Koss, which is a headphone company. I mean, these are little nondescript companies in the grand scheme of things. And yet, how do they take down these big hedge fund players? Basically because these hedge funds had a position on. They were waiting for these stocks to go to zero or near zero, and just the opposite happened. And when you have enough in a small army, yes, you can overwhelm the big shots in New York, and that is what's happening. The rise of the individual trader. As a market capitalist myself, even though I don't trade these stocks and we don't do these sorts of day trading things in our programs, I champion and commend these guys for what they're doing. The markets are open for any participant that wants to express an opinion by putting their money on the line. And that's what these traders have done. And I think it's a great thing. Going to talk a little bit on Thursday about these SPACs. You may have heard about this, a special purpose acquisition company that just exists basically to raise capital for an initial public offering, an IPO. We do have a couple clients in particular that really like IPOs. I'm not an IPO guy. You won't see those in our managed programs, but we recognize that some of our viewers are, so we're going to have a section on this. We always like to have an application for when I give you, background and education here, and that's because these SPACs can affect cash flow in the markets and affect decisions by big players, and the big players are who move the market. So that's why we cover these kinds of things. Watch for that on Thursday night. In politics, so Biden's first 10 days in office, his pen has been busy. So was President Trump's, to a little lesser extent, President Obama, but definitely Biden. Whatever the reason there, I'm not going to posit on that. I may have my own opinions, but you can come to your own. Lot of executive orders. Just a few of them here on the screen. You can freeze this, take a screen capture and read down into it, or I'm actually going to put this very ugly URL in the description below. So look down below after you finish watching this and you'll be able to click right on that description and you can get a summary of I would say, the most important executive orders that President Biden has issued since he's been in office. So we always like to offer this word of wisdom for you guys on Thursday. We hang the petty thieves and appoint the great ones to public office. From Aesop. Now, you might be thinking, Aesop, isn't that the guy that wrote the fables? That's like 100 years old. What value does that have? Well, it's actually a lot older than that. 2,500 years ago, that's what people were saying about their elected officials. So this is not a new phenomena in America or even in the world here. This has been an issue for hundreds, arguably thousands of years. So if you're frustrated with the political scene in America, you have thousands of years of company on that. So guys, on Thursday night, the earnings season blitz continues. We had quite a few this past week. Most of them surprised to the upside. I'll have the data for you on Thursday night. And then the pandemic recovery, mentioned that about NVAX. And there's going to be, some more news on that as well. We're pleased to see that little by little, the number of cases and the number of hospitalizations is getting reduced. Okay. Reminding you again, please subscribe. Get your friends and family to subscribe. Click that bell. Follow me on Twitter. Keep up with us, Facebook, and LinkedIn, of course. Okay. So that is it for this Thursday night. And actually, this is Monday night. But for this coming Thursday night, what we do on this Monday show, those of you that are new, is that we like to basically give you a little bit of what's happening as the week starts off, and then sort of preview our more extensive show, which runs 45 to 50 minutes. I try to make it shorter, but people ask questions, and I want to answer their questions and be interactive. So if you've never watched a Thursday night show before, please join us, because it is a chance for you to either watch anonymously or to log in on your YouTube account and ask questions. You can even dialogue with the other people. We have a pretty steady audience, and that's just a way you can enjoy yourself and learn something at the same time. Guys, that was the Monday Market Mashup for Monday, February 1st. I'm Charles Brown, Portfolio Manager with CB3 Financial here in Nashville, where we don't just manage your assets, we become one of them. I'll see you Thursday night.